Hi everyone, my name is Jenna Roach. So I had a really hard time actually with this prompt about what culture best represents who I am. I am Irish, but I wouldn't say that is necessarily my culture. My family has been in America for so many generations now that we are definitely very Americanized. We don't really do anything that's traditionally Irish. So I guess my culture at this point would just be American. But talking about the notions of my actual Irish descent, I think most of the norms that people have around the Irish culture focus really on things like St. Patrick's Day and drinking and things like that, which I definitely would say I don't relate to at all. I never even have celebrated St. Patrick's Day, so I'm probably not very good at embracing my Irish culture. But I think that studying culture is really crucial because it not only teaches you an appreciation for other cultures and an understanding of why people communicate in different ways, but it also teaches you about yourself in many ways. There are many similarities that I have realized between myself and some of the other cultures that I've studied, as well as differences. I think that studying culture also helps you with all students, not just ELs, because just because your student speaks English as their first language does not mean that their family does. And their family might have very strong cultural norms that don't necessarily match up with the norms of school. Their parents could be first generation over, their grandparents could be first generation over. The student even could have learned English as their first language, but if they were from a different English-speaking country, that in itself are differences that really would impact their learning. I think discussing culture is always an interesting topic. Sometimes it can be very, very positive, sometimes not so much. I think some people have a very strong sense of their personal culture and their familial culture, and then there are some people like me that really don't relate to their heritage much or even discuss their heritage much. I'm almost 100% Irish, and no one in my family really mentions the fact that we're Irish other than the fact that we're really, really pale and have really green eyes. Otherwise, it's not something that we embrace as a family. Making this, I actually went online and looked up Irish traditions in hopes that maybe there was something that I could be like, oh yeah, I totally do that, but it didn't happen. So I think most of the norms that people perceive about Ireland, which there aren't as many as with some other cultures, are not something that match up with my everyday life. I definitely am very Americanized, which I think a lot of students are, but most ELs will not be, obviously, if they have just moved here. So I think it is important to really realize that America, although it is such a blend of cultures, is a culture in itself, and that when working with diverse populations, we have to understand how the melting pot effect may have embraced parts of their culture, but also their culture might be completely different and they might not even know how to adjust. So just to sum it up, I think what's really important about this course and just cultural discussions in general is just being open-minded and really wanting to learn how to best communicate with other cultures, not how they should communicate with you, but how you should make it effective communication with them.